Imagine being 18 and deciding that instead of college parties and figuring it out later like the rest of us, you will launch a national organization. Because that's exactly what Charlie Kirk did when he was creating Turning Point USA, a project that started as a bold idea and became a powerful student network. Today, we're going to break down how clarity and focus can turn one sketch into a movement. And this is all fascinating because he started at 18 years old. Most of us are going off to college, trying to figure life out, and he was focused. He had tunnel vision. He's like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going for. This is happening. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Sir Chairs, and in this channel we analyze videos and articles through the lens of PR. And today I want to take a quick look at Charlie Kirk and his company Turning Point USA, because the more I looked into Charlie Kirk, I realized he was only 31 years old, and he was already at the White House. No education, self-taught. It was only his ambition that carried him through. And his talk, his persuasiveness, the way that he conducted himself with facts. I mean, this is the kind of, and I wanted to say boy because he started as a boy. Those ideas are just ingrained in you of like, okay, once I turn 18, I'm going and I'm shooting for the stars. He's like, no, not the stars. I'm shooting for Turning USA. I want to get there. Okay. I wish we all had that kind of mentality of 18, but not all of us do. Absolutely not. We're kids. We're growing up. But I wanted to showcase this because some of us, if not most of us, at 30, 40, 50, we're trying to figure it out. And we have been proven time and time again with Meghan Markle that if you don't have focus and if you don't listen to others and if you don't learn, you're going to end up like Meghan Markle. You're going to Markle yourself into a dwindling business because you need to learn. You need to take the time to learn things. You need to take the time to want to do things and work past hours and work with others. I mean, there is so much that at the age of 18, Charlie Kirk accomplished. And he was just so focused that at 31, sadly, his life was ended. Can you imagine how much further he could have gone? Because at 18, fresh out of high school, Charlie spotted a gap. Meghan can't do that. She's still like, what should I be selling? Today I'm going to sell wine. Tomorrow it's going to be jam. Wait, it's jam, but it's really marmalade. No, it's actually something really runny. Him at 18, he spotted a gap. No grassroots group was equipping young people to champion free market principles on value. Instead of waiting, he acted. He drafted a plan, listed goals, and set out to build it. The lesson here is very obvious. Vision is powerful, but action is what gives your vision the legs. Vision and action together are very powerful. That same year, before Turning Point USA was even fully formed, Charlie landed his first donor. At just 18, he was already pitching the mission with clarity and securing resources to give the idea a real shot. Takeaway: a clear pitch attracts backing, even at the very beginning. I mean, can you imagine having an 18-year-old talk to you and just convince you of giving him money? That takes a lot because we all start the same with nothing. I'm sure Charlie's business was humble just like all of our businesses. It's one laptop, cold calls, local presentations, and tiny campus gatherings. That right there is the most difficult part because nobody knows you. Nobody knew him. You have to go and gather and do these cold calls, which cold calls are the worst if you've ever done them. They're the worst because people keep hanging up on you. I've done them and they're horrible. But you have to call like 100 before you get a yes. And he wasn't afraid of getting no's. He's like, okay, I'll go to the next campus. Okay, I'll go to the next campus. But I'm sure people never said no to him, or he had few no's because he was very good and articulated his message very well. Every conversation built proof that his mission resonated with people. Big platforms grow from one person hustle. And think about it this way, because the first person I think about is one of the biggest YouTubers, and that is Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast didn't just start big. He started very, very small. And I believe it was 5 years in or 7 years in that he finally started getting traction. And that's the thing. We forget that big YouTubers started very, very small with absolutely no viewers, no watchers, nobody cheering them on but themselves. And that is probably the hardest part of all. Having to hustle yourself into creating something, having to convince yourself, yeah, I'm not working like crazy for nothing. Because yeah, you can do it for 1 month straight, but a lot of people, when they do 1 month straight and they don't see anything happening or the needle moving, their spirit starts to grow weary and exhausted. And I can tell you from this, because when I tell people I record 5 videos a week, they're like, 5 videos, I can barely do 1. Yeah, that's how you start. You start with 1. I didn't start with 5 videos a week immediately. No, again, I come with professional skills already. I used to do this for a living. I used to edit videos every single day. It was like 3-4 videos a day. So for me, recording 1 video a day, that's easy peasy. That's no problem. But I didn't get there overnight. I had to start just like everyone else. Because in Charlie Kirk's business, momentum came through chapters, student-run groups, hosting debates and discussions. Each new chapter expanded reach, legitimacy, and leadership opportunities. Here's the thing. Charlie didn't drift through the weekends. He practiced talks, read policy papers, prepped for debates, and caught flights to speak anywhere that students would listen. That typical 18-year-old life was traded for a purpose. And that's very powerful, because how many of us would say, I will trade... Okay, let me rephrase that, because I'm already thinking I need to make sure I say it correctly. How many of us in our 40s, 50s would trade our 20s to live them like that? So we can see the difference it would make in our lives. There's a few things I would trade my 20s for. I wish I would have found Jesus sooner. I wish I would have started my business sooner. I wish I would have, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things I would have done. I would trade my 20s for that. Absolutely. Because my 20s were just like a typical 20-year-old. You know, I went to college, I went to parties, I did the typical 20-year-old thing. But Charlie, he traded the typical 18-year-old life for a purpose. And this is the reason I keep saying I would really trade my 20s for purpose as well, because when focus meets effort, momentum is sure to follow. See, the first donor at 18, Charlie refined the story, presented the problem, showed the plan, delivered results. Each success unlocked larger backing, fueling more chapters, events, and staff. People don't just fund enthusiasm. No, they fund clear goals and steady proof. By 2018, Turning Point USA opened its Phoenix headquarters, anchoring a team that could train leaders, run conferences, and sustain thousands of students. Charlie started small, but early. That is the difference. He started small, but early. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time. I know exactly what I want, and I'm going to go for it. And it seems like that's exactly how he lived his life. In a few years, what began as one teen's plan evolved into a national platform, mentoring young voices and shaping civic engagement. Charlie's journey proves age isn't a barrier when the mission is clear. He had a plan, a pitch, a donor, and an unstoppable work ethic, all at 18. If an 18-year-old could sketch a mission, land a supporter, and grow it into a nationwide network, imagine what you can launch if you started today. Because the only difference is that Charlie had grit, and he would not stop at anything. That's really all you need in order to succeed in business, is be unstoppable with your work ethic, your grit, and your mindset. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.